that are up.
Yeah.
And then there were two.
So that's a third. Yeah, that's a third of. Yeah, there you go. And then there were two.
I have been
This is-
encouraging folks in my circle to start to evaluate what we've normalized, even those of us that have been participating and participating in conversations and discussions. We have all normalized a lot of this, and we're not going to be able to really be effective in healing until we know. And one of the things that I've kind of kept a hold of it was like in the days that followed the election in 2016, I was watching CNN, and Don Lemon was off camera, and you heard it, but his mic was hot. And you heard him say, "Oh my God, he tweeted again. He tweeted again. Oh my God, look." He was so shocked that this person that had just won this election as president of the United States was tweeting. He was shocked. That was where we started. And the fact that we're not shocked, and just try to think back and find that place where you started to have an understanding of what healing needs to take place, that we have been a bit recalibrated and as we should be in some areas, but healing is going to be necessary, and we need to require more of leadership. We have to remember, get your ass off Twitter. Let's
hold
start.
on. I want to challenge that, honestly. I want to challenge that point. So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez recently did a Twitch live stream where she played Among Us, and she engaged a ton of young people in what I think at their level. She met them where they were, right, and
It's
got
a
them
platform that
engaged
should be
with her.
used, and she is.
So I think it's the social media, just like it's a tool, and it's how you use it.
I mean, like policy. Like he communicates policy.
Yeah,
You can't tweet out. You can't tweet out firings. You can't tweet out orders
Because
to
we're gonna
the.
go.
Sure,
We're gonna
no, I
take out
agree. I
this,
agree with that. You can't rule by
that's
tweet,
scary.
definitely. But
Yeah, and I
But, like-
think, kind of like along those lines where, it was unusual, or they chastised other presidents for doing what this president is doing. So, when Bill Clinton was out there, playing saxophone and, having women in the White House, that was bad. When everybody else is going to, Camp David and, vacationing a little too much, that was bad. When someone's golfing or, they're that celebrity president, that was bad. And now you've got a guy who was Celebrity Apprentice. He's golfing.
does anybody remember when Donald Trump said, like, I won't have time for golf?
Right.
Obviously,
He
he had a lot of time.
campaigned on that exact point.
Do you remember him also saying that he thinks he could do both? That he doesn't want to turn over all of his assets because he thinks that he could do both jobs. Do you remember that?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, that's
oh
the thing,
boy,
is
those didn't age
it's
well.
so much for so long that you just I think I said earlier, you need an encyclopedia for it all.
I do have a list of running words though that I never want to hear again. Like a list like tremendous, disaster,
Huge.
huge. It's a running list that
Yeah, he did all this with like a 17-word vocabulary too.
Yeah.
17-word vocabulary.
that's not far off. It really.
Might be 20.
All right. By 17, I mean like adjectives. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
He has object permanence, so
Right.
nouns are a thing that I think he can grasp, and he likes to do things. So verbs, but adjectives, 17 tops.
I mean, we
I
made
would put a
fun
bet on it.
of
I'd
someone
put a
for
bet
not
on
being
it.
able to spell potato, and now
I
Yeah.
said that
Do you
so many
remember
times.
when
So
not
many
spelling
times in the
potato
last
correctly
4
was a disqualifying?
yeah, like, oh, he'll never
Disqualifying
make it to
factor?
president. This is, I can't believe he's vice president. And here we are. This guy can't spell, can't pronounce words, can't read off the teleprompter.
It was it Howard Dean? He lost that whole election in the primary because he woohooed at a rally. Dude was out.
Yeah, that we were the big arm motion and everything.
Yeah, he did that and he woohooed and they played it over and over and that guy that sunk his battleship.
Yeah.
Yeah. How far we've fallen.
Now we have that press conference where he's like, the assets, and I'm turning it all over and all these stacks of paper that were blank.
Yes.
And we, but we have become not comfortably numb, but we have normalized it. There, even those of us that are diligent, I can't begin to understand what I have to
hear it all the time. It's like
I hold on to Don Lemon. That's like when this is all over, I'm gonna have to really, it'll have to be intentional to we'll never be back to where we are, and I don't know that I'll see healing in my lifetime. But to find my place to start is Don Lemon. So everybody needs to find their Don Lemon, your North Star.
Yeah, I just feel like after this election, I'm going to have to unfriend so many people. So it's kind of like where do you kind of have those conversations when you're limited to people who think like you, Yeah. And there's probably one of those, like maybe the people who I disconnect from years from now, I'll be like, oh shit, you were right. Like, I'm so sorry. And but by then I'll be like, well, fuck you. Like you should have thought about that before you voted for a president who hates, everyone that's not rich and white. So yeah, it's going to be, I feel sorry for my, white friends who have lost family members and friends. I'm just losing friends. I'm not really losing family members because we're all kind of in the same boat. But you guys, my heart's out to
you. Right off the family
losing parents and aunts and uncles and grandparents, kids. Like,
but that was their choice. That was that family member's choice. It wasn't ours. For us in our house, it came a lot down to. You have to understand that by supporting that, you're supporting you're voting against our daughters with disabilities, and the entire disability community that knew factually, that this is the repercussions of, and the fear that has gone through the disabled community is palpable and justified. And if that's the choice you make, then you make the choice for me. Right off the family tree, pruned. And I mean, it sucks. It's not pleasant, but a lot of people have asked me about that and, like, oh, well, that must have been a real struggle. I had to look at it as if they made that decision,
Yeah. And for Joe, it's like one of those things where, the person who gave birth to you, you would think that they want your best interest at heart. And that's kind of disappointing. It's one thing for my friends to be like, well, I like you, but no one else like you. But when a family member's like, I kind of love you, but I don't really think that, you should have the same rights as me. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's how much that speaks to who that leader is.
Right. True. Yep. Very, very true.
We have a lot of healing to do, y'all. A lot.
Yeah. I don't know.
If we're plugging people that like you said you like Don Lemon, I recently discovered Bo of the Fifth Channel. I would highly recommend.
Which channel?
Bo of the Fifth Channel. It's a YouTube channel actually, but very, very interesting perspective on things. He sort of dog whistles like anarchism with terms like stateless society and stuff like that. So he kind of takes like this really like reasoned and measured approach to presenting ideas that would otherwise be unpalatable to people who are a little bit more conservative or view themselves as a little bit more conservative.
For the record, I'm not like a huge Don Lemon fan. He just happened to be on the TV that night when he.
Oh no, sure.
He was off camera and was kind of like just shocked that the tweet happened. But I like Don Lemon just fine. But not like a big fangirl.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm a big fangirl for Belle. So.
So is that Beau like Beau, like the?
Yeah.
You should
Beau
paste the
Fifth
link. You should paste the
yeah,
link.
give me 1 second. He's actually also live streaming coverage tonight too. But he has an extremely well-informed opinion on pretty much everything he speaks about because he does research. And I just like the way he presents things.
Yeah, like how do you convince someone who is super conservative to actually listen and take other ideas into consideration?
Well, yeah, that's kind of his whole shtick because like if you go to his channel, you'll see he's what you would call like a stereotypical redneck, or he's like Florida man looking guy. And he references that in a lot of his. I think that's sort of something that he's specifically focused on. I think it's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
The link to his channel, I just posted in the chat.
I don't see it.
Oh, I sent it to James only. I'm sorry. Hold on.
It's okay. You can leave me out.
No, I want everybody to see it. I really do. It's great.
Yeah, he's got a pretty interesting channel. There's a lot of centrist YouTube, which I find interesting.
Do you find that a good resource, James? Like,
I'm sorry?
Do you find that a good resource to, not his channel specifically, but those channels? Like, do you look to them for? Like,
depends on the channel, personally. I know that was technically directed at James, but my experience with YouTubers is some of them present well in good faith, some of them don't, and you have to use your own judgment and decipher what of their information that they're giving to you is valid and what of it is just talking points, just like any other source of media. But I think me personally, I think it's a cool way to decentralize media. Like what we're doing is sort of similar in a way. We're broadcasting like a live panel show, but with people with perspectives that are very different than the people who usually sit in those chairs on the major news networks. So I think that's the value for me in a lot of the.
Well, apparently they're toxic perspectives, Chris. We're all very toxic.
Oh.
Is that what they're saying in the chat?
It was just one person. Sorry, I get hung up on things like that sometimes, but
I just
yeah,
think
we're all
I
very
don't think we
toxic.
said anything toxic.
We're not the ones who are like plotting to steal governors and showing up at polling places with guns and deflection.
I'm sorry, wait, is it toxic to call somebody who's obviously incompetent? Like, is that what they're referring to?
I mean, if they think that's toxic, they should really follow my Twitter because
like this is tame, right? Compared to that.
Right. I got Twitter banned the other day for I had Twitter banning is interesting because if they ban you for something that you tweet, they force you to take it down yourself, or they won't let you back on Twitter.
Wait, what?
So just admit that you were wrong, and then we'll let you back in.
Right. Like they don't tell you like you can't be on Twitter. They offer you like the option to fight the decision, but they're like. Yeah, your only options are either disagree with the decision and it'll take up to 14 days to review, or delete your tweet.
What was the post?
I called somebody. Oh yeah, it was pretty toxic. I called somebody. What was it? There was a dude that was being super racist on a city council member's post about something, and I forget what I called him. I called him a douchebag or something. I forget, but
Tangolini?
Yeah, was that it?
No, that's the racist that ran for mayor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have him on tape at the last election, parking in a crosswalk and a curb cut. It was hilarious.
Nice.
Yeah. How are you gonna run for mayor and you can't even park right? You're representing the most vulnerable? You're parking in the curb cut in the crosswalk.
Well, to be fair, parking is the jurisdiction of a private company in the city of Philadelphia for some fucking reason.
Democrat-run cities. This is the least Democrat-run city in the entire universe. Like, they talk about it like it's a Democratic haven, and like if you follow actual liberals and progressives politically in city politics here, we all hate the city government. Like, everybody hates the city government. Everybody wants them to stop doing everything that they're doing. I don't. You can call it a Democrat-run city all you want, but that doesn't really mean anything.
We're very establishment, and we've been in the top 5 most corrupt for a while.
So so there's a few more precincts reporting. I'm just pulling up the election results here on election returns. There's still an okay lead for Joe Biden. There's 390,000 for Joe Biden versus 312,000 for Trump. Looks like a lot of catching up has been done through election day returns. 226,000 for Trump election day returns versus 83,000 for Biden, whereas 307,000 mail-in ballots for Biden to 86,000 for Trump. So literally exactly opposite each other, based on mail versus in-person voting. And those numbers are on screen. I know for all the folks watching, I just I have to actually like lean in. It's so small on my screen. Looks like Kim had to drop off. Yeah, so I'm just going to stick with the results here through a few more, probably like another half hour. I'm going to throw in the towel after all the counties have at least returned most of their results and some of their mail results. We're getting no mail results for Adams County, no mail results for Armstrong County, no mail results for Blair County, no mail results for Butler County, no mail results for Cambria County. Let's see, Chester County, also not really close to Philadelphia and literally not counting any of their mail-in ballots yet. Clarion County, no mail counted. Cumberland, no mail counted. Let's see, Erie, no mail counted. And Erie, even though no mail has been counted, it's 49 to 48% of the in-person votes. Franklin County, no mail-in ballots counted at all. Fulton County, just mail-in ballots counted. Greene County, no mail-in ballots counted. Indiana County, no mail-in ballots counted. Lackawanna, no mail-in ballots counted. I mean, as you see, as I scroll through this list, and the folks online can see me scrolling through the list, there's so few mail-in ballots being counted. How are any of these election results even being considered complete? I have no idea.
Bogus.
Fake news!
Oh man, if I hear that one more time, I cannot wait till that goes out of style.
It's gonna be one of those things, like our kids are gonna be like, like when our aunts and uncles like said things like groovy or
right. And we're like, what the fuck does that mean? They're like, oh, like nice, like oh, like hype, dope, whatever. Like fake news is gonna be that new slang word that we're gonna hate.
Yeah.
The person that coined fake news got in trouble for fake news so many times. Average of 2 lies a day.
Oh my god. Yeah. Even if they see it right in front of their face, it's like fake news, it didn't happen.
Interesting live chat comments. We have a couple of live chat comments. Just nothing relevant.
Okay.
It's weird. But yeah.
Something about us being toxic.
Not this time, no. But yeah, if anybody has any questions, any points that they want to bring up, feel free to jump on the live chat. I am keeping an eye on it through my console, so appreciate everybody for watching. This isn't gonna even be over tonight. I know we all like a horse race, we all like to know what's going on. We're not gonna find out. I hate to tell you, but we're just not.
It might be a few days, hopefully not forever past that, but yeah.
So we've got the coffee break chat in the morning. I'll do a little self promotion here since we have a little lull in the data. Got the coffee break chat in the morning every Wednesday morning. Cheryl usually joins me. Also sometimes joined by Charles, who you saw earlier. We have special guests and commentary on current events, and you're welcome to join us tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. We go out live and talk about what's going on in the world from a black and brown perspective. And we'll probably have me. Cheryl, are you coming tomorrow morning?
Yes, I took off of work. I only have one meeting for work at 9 a.m., so I should be
awesome.
On by 10.
And we'll be doing that. So live on the same channel that you're watching this on, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. You can watch the replay. You can watch the replay of this. We have a Patreon, patreon.com/LightThiefProductions. I'm going to post it in all the chats. I do pay my my camera people, and I'd like to pay my guests. And I do have a large investment in equipment here, so please support independent media. and become a patron on Patreon. We have levels as low as $1 per month, and every little bit helps. Let's see, what else is there? We have a stretch goal on Patreon to establish a news media channel, a weekly news magazine here in the city of Philadelphia. It's going to be a progressive news magazine. This is in direct response to the last of our progressive news magazines closing down and becoming an alt-right news magazine. So in response to that, I established a Patreon goal of $3,000 per month. Once we reach pledges of totaling $3,000 per month, I will start a print news magazine here in the city of Philadelphia that is progressively themed. So please jump on Like Beef Productions, help us reach that Patreon goal. We'd really appreciate it. Other than that, yeah, we'll just keep covering this as the night goes on. Any thoughts, Cheryl? Any thoughts, Chris? Any thoughts, Joe?
I had some thoughts about a different race that I wanted to bring up. I don't know if this has been mentioned yet, but I'm looking at the results so far for question number 1 on the of the ballot questions in New Jersey. Currently 67.9% in favor of legalizing marijuana in New Jersey. So
it'll be probably the 12th state to make it legal.
yeah, incrementalism sucks, but I guess, it's one step closer to ending the war on drugs. And at the very least, no matter what happens with this election, I can get high and not have to fear police violence.
Well, you still have to fear federal police violence.
That's a fair point.
He's like,
Yeah, you got me there. You really did.
he had no comeback. He was like, pause for a second, like, yeah, you might be right.
let me have this one.
Sorry. Sorry, bro.
I
I have chronic migraines, and I've been told since early childhood that they could probably be treated pretty easily with marijuana derivatives. And I've expressed many times, why the fuck isn't there some sort of research into treating migraines with marijuana derivatives? Because right now, all the things that I can treat it with drastically change my brain and or affect my liver or kidneys. So chronic migraines have won. There's no treatment for them. But regardless of the fact that it's legal in Pennsylvania for medical use, I can't use it. My partner works for the federal government. If it got back to the federal government that I was using marijuana to treat my chronic migraines that I've had since childhood, she could get fired. So
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's a ripple effect that I did not
still have to fear the federal man, as it were.
Yeah, that's just craziness. And I guess when they do a background
You're
check
on mute,
of a worker,
I think,
they do a background check with everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't hear you.
I can hear
it might be my headphone might have died. Hang on a second.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's my headphone.
So I was saying, it's kind of, weird when they do a background check of a worker. They do a background check of literally everyone they know, which is kind of crazy. I'm in that same boat. I woke up this morning with a migraine, and then, I have preventative medicines that I take, 4 pills a day, just to try to keep them from coming, and they still do. It would be nice to have something that was definitive, definitely can keep me from having migraines. It would
Yep.
be nice.
I mean,
Not gonna happen.
yeah,
Well, at least not
sure.
anytime soon.
Yeah, whatever. Are you like making a whole plan?
So yeah, still got to fear the federal man, as it were.
Yeah. And it's really kind of funny that the war on drugs doesn't include like piping people. Like I can get all the pain medicines I want from my migraines. I just can't get something to prevent it.
Yeah, you can get all the opioids you want. You can get all the copyrighted pain medicines you want, but I'm not a huge conspiracy theory fan, but this is one of the few that actually works out as a valid conspiracy theory. You know, there's no way to copyright marijuana, so it's, you know, it was wildly fought against by pharmaceutical companies, and now
Also,
it's
they-
illegal. I'm sorry?
I mean, you got two major industries that are lobbying: the oil industry and the pharmaceuticals. Because
Don't forget the private prison industry.
yeah, there you go. again.
Also, drug dealers themselves don't want marijuana to be legal,
Right, because it takes away from their business.
and they have to pay taxes then.
Right.
Drug dealers are still making money in California. So, I mean,
Yeah, I guess it's like different drug dealers though. Like now you can go to the corner store in California and get it, whereas your, friendly neighborhood pharmacist was probably locked up and can't sell anything at this point and hasn't been let free. It's just kind of crazy. Like, I don't know. Things that they make legal and then they don't go back and be like, oh shit, we made that legal 5 years ago. Let's go ahead and let you go free, even though you're on a 20-year sentence.
So for the first time tonight, the vote count has swung in Donald Trump's favor here in Pennsylvania. We are now at... that doesn't even make sense. All right, so we're apparently at 48.6 for Joe Biden and 50.21 for Donald Trump. However, the vote count doesn't reflect that. The vote count is 500,000 for Joe Biden and 499 for Donald Trump. So
Republican math.
sure exactly how that math works. Well, this is a nonpartisan. This is the Pennsylvania Election Board nonpartisan return.
I mean, Associated Press still has PA as blue leaning.
Yeah, this is the actual this is the actual election commission returns. So I trust their numbers. I just don't understand what they're using to do this percentage calculation. And I'm charging my phone a little bit because I ran it down doing the election results stream. So I'll bring back up the AP's results on screen in a little bit. Texas is now red leaning according to the AP. Florida is red leaning. Wisconsin is red leaning. Minnesota is blue leaning. Michigan red leaning. Ohio red leaning. Yeah, if he wins if Joe wins PA and Trump wins the rest of those states, there's a very, very narrow chance of victory for Joe Biden if he loses all of Texas, Florida, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Michigan. If he loses PA, there's almost no chance of victory for Joe Biden in any other combination. So the total of 131 electoral votes in the lead that he is right now is nothing. It means it's meaningless.
Swing right the other way.
We all stormed the White House.
Not with that wall in the way.
Yeah, it's an unscalable wall.
Oh boy.
So yeah, maybe my zombie apocalypse plan. I don't know. I lobby regularly. I do a lot of activism. Pretty much everybody in City Hall knows who I am. It's funny because there's not a lot of activists in this very activist city. So it's just funny because like when you're very politically active, politicians often appreciate it because they don't hear from their constituents very often other than through activism. So I was talking to one of the council members and I was like, look, I forget what exactly it was about, but I was like, this stuff, you know, oh, it was about the Proud Boys coming to march in Philadelphia, and I was like, I'm all for protecting First Amendment rights, but this is one of the few things where I have decided that if, you know, this becomes a stronghold of right-wing reactionaries and accelerationists, I'm leaving. I'm just leaving. It's not safe enough for me or my family here, and I will leave. And you know, the nicest thing that an elected official has ever said to me was, you know, it's really important that people like me, like Joe, like other folks that are activists, stick around because, you know, the city can't run itself. It needs the input of people who are willing to talk. So.
Yeah, I think it's disgusting that none of the city council, very rarely can they even make a statement against the Nazis coming to town.
Right.
Like, there was the giant, there's been several giant Nazi rallies in Philadelphia. There's been very few statements against them. That's like the very bare minimum that you can do. You are paid to be in a position. The bare minimum is to make a statement that says you do not agree with Nazis being in town. Literal Nazis. I mean, if you are being paid to represent all people of Philadelphia, you should be making a statement. You should be there. You should be doing everything in your power to shut down hate speech. But it doesn't seem to happen. Like, not even the bare minimum. It's disgusting.
It is. I was thinking about proposing a city council declaration of anti-hate group declaration, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. I've been a little busy with housing. Interesting. I can't get my phone to come up on here again. Ah. There it goes. All right, I'll pull up these results for everybody. There we go. All right, so currently looking at the election results from the Associated Press. Still haven't pushed very much new closings out. California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, Indiana, Montana, Oregon, and Washington, Alaska, and Hawaii won't be closed for a while. Looking at Washington, the first results are expected around 11 p.m. Eastern Time. and that's quite a ways away. Not sure I'm going to be able to stick through that. We won't really have any updated results from Pennsylvania that are reliable by the end of the night. And I'm not sure my liver could handle the amount of alcohol that I will need to drink in order to stick with these county breakdowns that aren't counting, that are literally just not counting mail-in ballots. It's just insanity. Any place that they are counting mail-in ballots is clearly very positive for Joe Biden. Any place they're not, it's clearly very positive for Donald Trump. This is no way to run an election. So, yeah. That's where we're at. Any thoughts, guys?
Just can't wait for it to be over.
So it seems pretty apparent that there are a lot of counties that are just, like you said, just not counting these ballots. And I think, Cheryl, you brought up earlier, like what's the expected time frame? Like how long can they just go on not counting them without there really being any accountability? And what is the consequence of that? Like what kind of media narrative could that potentially create?
And I wonder if they're not counting them, like, are those small numbered counties that they're just like, oh, well, there's not that many people, so we can count them and it won't take us that long kind of thing. Or, you know, some of these counties, I mean, Pennsylvania has a lot of counties and some of them are quite big. So I would assume not counting them until the last minute would be kind of detrimental.
I would really appreciate that.
My campaign manager told me that most likely it would be a week till we actually have all the votes counted.
Yeah, there also is like a point where it becomes mathematically impossible too, where you could say based on the number of votes that are left and the current differential in votes, you can clearly say that there aren't enough votes left in the uncounted voting pool to overturn the current lead.
So only 12% of mail ballots in precincts have been counted so far.
In all of Pennsylvania?
In all of Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yeah, well, and with how close 2016 was in Pennsylvania, that's going to be an obviously significant number.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Sorry, I let my phone go to sleep there. So I don't know. I doubt anybody who's, important is watching this particular broadcast. But for those who are interested in a local perspective, this is the problem. This is going to be the problem this year, is that that these are not being counted, the mail ballots are not being counted, and how are we to determine results without counting a significant portion of the votes in a significant portion of the counties of Pennsylvania?
I will bear that.
What?
Looks like
Movie. I feel like 2020 has been a movie, and like this ending is like super climactic. It's just never. I don't know.
Oh, you think this is the climax of 2020?
Well, you know how like when you have like no, you know in like
we're entering the third act.
Well, you know in the third Transformers when you thought like, oh, this must be the biggest fight scene, and then there was another fight scene, and there was another fight scene. This is one of those fight scenes that you're just like, oh, this has got to be the end. This is crazy, and it's all intense. And then there's really just another fight scene coming up, which will probably be, I feel like that'll be next week.
What'd you say, Joe?
PA just changed like twice in 5 minutes. Now it's back to undecided.
Oh,
well, because
it was the red, then blue, and now undecided.
Well, hopefully, the news analysts are seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. I mean, I'm just one guy sitting at a computer in Philadelphia, but hopefully they're seeing the same thing that I'm seeing, which is that these county counts are wildly off because a large number of them are not counting their mail-in ballots at all yet. These county counts just are going to throw this overall count off completely until they start counting mail-in ballots. And until they count mail-in ballots, there's just really literally no way to know what the election results are. I would say a majority of people voted by mail this year in Pennsylvania, in all of Pennsylvania. And
majority is probably mail-in ballot. It's probably blue, I would think.
Yeah, and that's what the results are showing in each county breakdown. There's only one county that is reporting both mail and in-person balloting where Trump is winning. Every other county that is reporting both mail and in-person balloting, Trump is losing by a large margin. But in any county where mail-in balloting isn't being counted, Trump is winning. So there's just literally no way to call this state until all the mail-in ballots are counted, or at least a huge portion of them.
Well, do we have any numbers or any idea of the numbers of uncounted mail? Like, is that information that you have in front of you?
Yeah, that's what I just said. About 12% of the mail-in ballots have been counted. So on the Votes PA...
What's the total number of ballots?
Huh?
What's the total number of ballots that they're basing that 12% on? That's my question.
Let's see. Mailing ballots cast and remaining. There have been 308,743 mail-in ballots counted. There are 2,234,486 mail-in ballots that have been received and are remaining to be counted.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Total, so 12.14% have been counted, and not every precinct is counting them.
That's over 250,000 people that their votes have yet to be counted at this point. And what was the margin?
It's over 2 million people. It's almost 2 million. It's 1.9 million people who haven't been counted yet.
Oh. I mathed wrong somewhere. I'm sorry.
That you did, sir.
I thought, anyway. Maybe I lost an order of magnitude somewhere there.
You did. Only in election day results, 23.9% of election day results have been counted. So I'm sorry, I need to fix this layout for everybody that's online to be able to see this. Hang on a second. Let me fix this layout for you a little bit. So the switching between the parts of the website, the layout of the Votes PA website changes, and it's not, I can't show the same amount of information in the same space. Hint for Votes PA for next election season, please make this a little bit easier for all of us technicians and commentators. All right, so here you go. So up on screen right now is the ballot counting status. This is the Votes PA election page counting status page. And it shows all the pertinent details. This page was last updated at 9:53. They update about every 5 minutes. As of 9:53 p.m., 24%, give or take, of the election day precincts had been reported. And only 12.14% of mail ballots have been counted. There's over 9 million registered voters in Pennsylvania, and only 2 million registered for mail-in ballots. And there are 67 counties, so let's see. Let's view the precincts reporting. 24%. A lot of the central PA area is reporting or fully reporting. Philadelphia and Pittsburgh have not reported at all yet. Let's see the next page. That's just informational. So total voters, let's see. Sorry, let me get back to that. It's a little slow to generate these reports. Total voters 9,091,000, and I guess this is just registration. Democratic registrations 4,229,000. Republican registrations 3,543,000. Other voters 400,000. I am an other voter, so I fall in that category. And yeah. So just by the numbers, if turnout is equal across the board and people vote within their party, there is a strong chance of winning for the Democrats in Pennsylvania. But as I said, you know, these numbers being reported are not helpful. Also, here's a good report that I hadn't seen before. Number of mail-in and absentee ballots cast broken down by party. Democratic Party cast 1,658,804 ballots by mail. The Republican Party only cast 600,000 by mail. So clearly, until you count mail-in ballots in Pennsylvania, you're not going to get an accurate picture of what party won the presidential election. Yeah, and only 12.14% of ballots have been counted in the state. Mail-in ballots have been counted in the state. So that's where we're at so far. We'll continue to follow it. Here's the numbers. You know, the overall numbers, they don't tell the whole story here in Pennsylvania. And I gotta say, for those 20,000 some voters who voted for Joe Jorgensen, you know, literally just, that's stupid. I vote third party in local elections a lot, and why did you vote for Joe Jorgensen in this election of all elections? So we're starting to get some results, election results from the Mountain states, Arizona, Utah, Montana, have started reporting. Let's see, what is Idaho is on the 11 p.m. schedule. Nevada is on the that's not Nevada. That's Nevada. Nevada should be seeing results right now. They closed at 10 Eastern Time. California won't be reported until 11 p.m. Oregon also 11 p.m. Alaska 1 a.m. And sorry about that. Let me fix the results here. There we go. Went off of the page that I was on. And Hawaii, I believe, is also 1 a.m. Nope, midnight. So, yeah. That's where we are so far. So, Cheryl, as another person of color, I have to ask, so one thing that I've been thinking about a lot is what this election says about what other residents of this country think about me and think about you and think about other people of color, black and brown people, people of all different types, who do make this our home and who, you know, participate in this country, who have always lived here and who are part of this, the fabric of this country. I don't know how to take it that, you know, even in one of the most contested elections and one of the most contested states, Pennsylvania, a good half of the people are voting for a guy who thinks that I should be deported. And by the way, I shouldn't be deported.
Just if you look like you should be.
Always lived here. I was born in Baltimore, people. I don't know where you're going to deport me to.
Yeah.
Huh? I didn't hear you.
I'm from Maryland.
Oh.
Yeah, it just shows me that they're okay with racism. That's number one. Number two, they could care less about me. Number three, they can care less about my family and or friends. I don't even know if they really care about themselves. If they cared about themselves, they would really look at what they're doing. Yeah, I might have to move. I don't know. Like, and for the people who are like, oh, if you don't like it here, you just leave. And like, I kind of want to leave, but like, kind of like you said, like, you know, I was born and raised in Jersey. I was born, you know, in this country. This is all I know. And unfortunately, I don't have any ancestors that I can just look up and be like, hey, you know, I saw you on the family tree and the family Bible and the family whatever. And, you know, I know you're a, you know, fourth or fifth cousin, and let's, you know, just meet up and, you know, let me live with you. Like, I don't have a connection to anybody in any other country. So yeah, I'm kind of stuck here, or just kind of an individual in another country after this, possibly. So who knows? Just go to a place that feels like the most like home.
I like Spain. Spain feels like home to me sometimes.
Yeah, I was planning to retire to Barbados because I went there on vacation. It seemed like a really nice place to be, very loving, small, you know, but it was very progressive. They actually were looking for like businesses to have like their corporate headquarters there and get like tax breaks. They were looking to have island-wide Wi-Fi for free. It's only an island of 15 by 30 miles, but it was kind of like everybody was kind of chill. Like we just kind of like went around the island and didn't feel unsafe. And one of the comments that was made was like, "Hey, what's up with you and you Americans in your prisons? We have one jail and nobody's ever there." Like it would be so much easier to move somewhere like that than it would to stay here at this point. Because now I know how people really feel. Like they honestly just don't give a shit about other people, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, and Joe just said in comments, I voted against Nazis, not for a particular candidate, and
right,
it's true.
Right, and people who voted for the Republican Party because the Republican Party has morals and it's blah blah blah.
It just
that
demonstrably doesn't. It demonstrably does not, and I don't know. Like, I don't get it. I don't understand how you can look at any Republican position. How can you look at Mitch McConnell and his
yes, this is right.
this represents me. Like, how can you look at him and his smug ass attitude about having successfully blocked the first black president's really duly necessary judicial nominees, not just Supreme Court. Look at the hundreds of nominees that he quietly blocked throughout the years of the Obama presidency, leaving our judiciary like desolate and unable to keep up. And then, he's just smugly going to talk about, oh, well, now I can fill. I just want to punch Joe Man in the face.
Yeah. Yeah, and then here we are, before a body was cold, they were like, okay, we're going to put out a new, like nominee, like, and it went straight through. And I don't understand why people don't, number one, grant anybody's dying wish. And number two, like, what was good for the goose should be good for the gander. Like, if you couldn't do it for Obama, why can you do it for 45? Like, why is that fair? How is that fair? And then people are going to say, well, life's not fair, but, like, but if you did the same thing to them, they would have a problem with it. Mm-hmm. Which is crazy. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know. There's definitely, we've got problems, and I didn't think they were going to be this bad. I didn't think they were this bad until 4 years ago, and now it's just progressively gotten worse. And I thought we had come to a point where people were like, yeah, this guy needs to get out. People were changing parties, and still almost half of the people are voting for him right now. Like, the fact that anyone's voting for him right now, mind-boggling. Especially after we're still in a pandemic when we really could have had less deaths at this point. And it's just, I can't believe, I don't even know where we went wrong. Did our educational system? Was it, just not? I mean, the fact that they had, the FBI had, the Black Panthers and everybody else, under investigation, but kind of somehow let the KKK just kind of, chill out for a little bit. And you have all these sleeper cells of people who, I mean, who were the Proud Boys 4 years ago? Like, I don't remember hearing about them until recently. Like, who are these people and where did they come from? How did they get, this following? There's got to be something that you and I just don't know. Like, everybody's whispering to each other and they're just like, no, don't tell anybody who's, lighter than a
Don't
You
tell
know,
anybody who
darker-
has melanin.
Yeah,
anything.
you know, anybody who's darker than a paper bag, you gotta you're not allowed to tell them anything. You know, if they're native to this land, nope, don't tell them. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's the. Yeah, I don't know. And I'm just almost scared to think about, you know, tomorrow when, or even next week when all of the votes are counted, like, and then I feel like it's going to be the people who voted for him are going to be insufferable. So we're going to have to hear about this fucking red wave.
They're gonna be insufferable whether he wins or loses.
Yeah, but then I'm going to have to hear, oh, he's still your president. You got to respect your president. And I'm like, God.
You're
like,
still gonna hear that. You're gonna hear that no matter.
But I feel like I don't know, I feel like if he loses, we'll hear about it for a little bit, and then they'll suddenly started to see like all the shit that he did and was like, let me like distance myself from that craziness. Whereas, you know, as long as they're winning, and it's all about winning, you know, they're going to be very, very vocal. I feel like if they lost, they wouldn't be as vocal, but I also feel like people like you and I will need to be on our P's and Q's, because there will be hate crimes just because we look a certain way.
I will never be on my P's and Q's. I have already had people threaten me. I've already had people drag me through an intersection on the hood of their car. I've already had, you know, the state refuse to do anything about that. I will never be on my P's and Q's. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. It's absolutely insane.
I mean, people can come for me. They've done it before. They'll do it again. It's not going to change. It's not going to change who I am. And I understand people who feel the need.
You're an activist. Yeah. But you're an activist. So you're kind of, I fear for the people who are just around minding their own business, you know, like not causing, you know, a stir. Like, even me, like, I don't really normally, you know, go out and protest or whatever. But I had a guy pull up next to me, and I just kind of looked at him, and he didn't look right. So I just kind of sped up a bit, you know, but he kind of looked like, what the fuck is she doing in that car? What, you know, like, I can already, you know, people just already assume they see my car, then they see me, and they're like, oh, drug dealing boyfriend, you know, or, you know, you must have like 1 billion kids, and you must have gotten that, you know, car, you know, through, like, we're helping you out with welfare, which I've never been on. You know, like, they don't know my background, but they see my face and they already have a stereotype that, you know, is there. And I just feel, you can feel the tension. Like, I've had cousins and friends ask me, like, oh, did you ever get your, you know, concealed weapons, you know, license? You know, I do have firearms, but I don't carry them with me, but do I need to start now? You know, that's one of those things where, like, life was good when I was just protecting my home. But now I may just have to protect myself when I walk out the door, which is not what I thought we would be at in 2020. But, you know, here we are.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back, Chris.
Hey, how's it going?
You know, just discussing escape plans.
Yeah, I'm looking at the same map you are.
So yeah, again, to anybody who's still watching, this isn't going to be over tonight. We're not going to have accurate results. First of all, we're not going to have any results for the Western states before I want to be in bed. I got a 10 a.m. broadcast. I'd like some down hours. So I'm probably gonna say let's call it quits in about 6 at 10:30, and we'll follow along with this overnight on our cell phones and not on broadcast, and we'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow morning on the coffee break chat. We do have a special coffee break chat at the usual time tomorrow, 10 a.m. Wednesdays, Light Thief Productions on YouTube or Facebook. And you can feel free to join us on those outlets and watch, or you can send us questions via text. And if you are a local person and would like to join us on the show, please get in touch with my associate producer. You can email us at submissions@light-thief.com. And we'll answer your request and get you scheduled to join the show. Yeah, so, I don't think we're going to find out anything else in the next 5 minutes or so. Last updated 10/13. Let me just refresh this page a little bit. Pull up the information again for everybody. Yeah, it still hasn't been updated. It should live update. That's why I've just been leaving it sit. It just looks like they're slow rolling the updates on the Votes PA. Now 35% of the in-person balloting has been counted and reported. Still only 12.84% of the mail-in balloting has been reported. This could go wildly either direction. And I wouldn't trust any results that you see for Pennsylvania tonight. I am willing to bet you won't even have an accurate result. We won't have an accurate result by 10 a.m. when we have the coffee break chat tomorrow morning. Yeah, stay tuned to the Votes PA page, folks. You can keep an eye on that dashboard. Feel free to stay tuned to the AP's reporting on results, but the better results are electionreturns.pa.gov. Those are direct numbers from the Pennsylvania Elections Board. And feel free to look at those numbers all night, but they're just going to keep climbing for Trump until we start getting mail ballots counted. So that's that 12% number that's going to have to change. We're not going to have any real results until then. That's where we're at. Any parting thoughts, Chris? Any parting thoughts, Cheryl?
I think we talked a lot about sort of how elections are presented, and I think you kind of closed on a really good point with saying we're not going to know by the end of the night. I think anybody who actually understands how these things work knows we're probably not actually going to have everything counted for a few days still. Whether that's going to make a consequential difference in the outcome of the election, that of course remains to be seen. But I think we need to somehow, as a society around our elections, like culturally shift away from this whole like election day thing, and start viewing it more as that's your last opportunity to vote, as opposed to when the voting ends. Because I think a lot of people seem to have that sort of misconception, and we're seeing, very clearly, as you brought up a number of times, like some at this point still 60%, 65% of ballots that were mailed in Pennsylvania have yet to be counted. I think we need to sort of reevaluate the way we look at our elections again.
Agreed. Cheryl?
Just where's Thanos when you need him? I don't even know what to say. Apparently half of these people don't need to be here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When Bernie Sanders did not receive the Democratic nomination, I immediately was just like, Cthulhu 2020, let's go. Like, why vote for the lesser evil?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough couple days.
Yep.
All right, it is 10:30 p.m., folks. I'm going to cut our coverage for the night. really appreciate all my guests, and appreciate you for watching and sticking with us. I would say that as a news person, it would be irresponsible of you to declare Pennsylvania before at least half of those mail-in ballots have been counted. I would say you need to look carefully at how many in-person votes have been counted versus how many mail-in votes have been counted, what percentages of each of those in each county, before you make any sort of determination as to who won Pennsylvania. There's literally no way you are going to know who won the presidency tonight. And I'm sure Donnie's warming up as soon as the western states close their polls to give some sort of acceptance speech, for the award that he didn't win yet. I'm sure Mr. Biden is going to play it cool and say nothing until the morning. Let his lawyers do the talking for him. Just hope that over the course of the next couple of days we see something that lets us know one way or another how the country stands. So thanks everyone again, and tune in tomorrow morning for some additional coverage. I'll talk to you later.